right, today's video is kind of a review. It's when you're faced with a system problem, how do you know which method to use? And the rule is you can do whatever you want. So if you have a method that you like the best, just keep using that method. But some problems lend themselves to certain ways to solve. For example, if it's y equals, and we give you a picture of a graph, that's probably easiest to solve by graphing. Okay, so for 1 and 2, these are pretty set up to solve by graphing because it's y equals, and there's a graph. Okay, so let's review one of those. Number 1, if the y-intercept is -4, we're going to begin at -4, and the slope is 1 over 1. So up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And then you guys remember, I like to cover the whole graph just in case, because I don't know where they're going to cross. And then I don't have my ruler. Let's see. All right, so that's line 1. And then line 2, we're going to begin at the B, which is y equals 3. And then our slope is down 6, right 1. Down, right 1. Oh, there it is already. All right, and then we saw that they crossed right away, so this one was pretty easy. Final answer is the intersection, and I think that's at 1, -3. Okay, so a little review of solve by graphing. Okay, so think back to substitution. Substitution is the best method when you have one variable positive and alone, so that you can plug its sub into the other equation. Okay, so 3 and 4, I would use substitution. Again, it's when you have one variable positive and alone, and you're going to sub its replacement into the other equation. All right, so let's do one of these together. This one, let's do number 4. Okay, so here's the story. If y is equal to -5x minus 23, then in the other equation, wherever we see a y, we can replace it with its substitute, -5x minus 23. So it's like if y gets tired, this can always go in its place. All right, so I'm going to rewrite the other equation. So I'm just going to copy down the other equation, but I guess y didn't feel like playing anymore. So wherever we saw a y, we're going to plug in -5x minus 23 because that was what y equal to, so we can make a sub. All right, and then we have to distribute, combine like terms. So we're going to distribute a -5, and then we have 5x plus 25x plus, I think that's 115 equals -5. And we're going to add like terms. 5x plus 25x is 30x plus 115 equals -5. And then we're going to draw the wall and finish up. So -115 minus 115, we get 30x equals -120. Divide by 30, x equals -4. Okay, we found x. Let's plug it back in to find y. I like to plug it into the original substitution. So I think the easiest one is to plug it into right here. So y is going to be -5 times x, but x is -4, and then minus 23. See how it just subs in nice? And then -5 times -4 is 20. 20 minus 23 would be y equals -3. And there you go. That's your answer. So x and y, let's write it as an ordered pair. So final answer is officially -4, -3. And if you want to check, you can always plug it back in. Okay, so that's a review of substitution. And then the third and final method is elimination. Most people use this most of the time. I would use elimination whenever I have x's, y's, equal signs, and constants lined up. So if you notice, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, they all have x's and y's lined up, so they're all perfect for elimination. Now, number 5 is super perfect because look, the 4 and the negative 4y already cancel. So you're already ready to add going down. Number 6, the 8 and the 8 are almost ready to cancel. So by simply multiplying one equation by -1, you could get the 8's to cancel. Okay, so some are easier than others, some are a little bit harder. Let's do number 8. All right, what would you guys multiply through by 8? Remember, there's so many ways to do these. But I got my eye on the x's here. I got a 3 and a 9. So what could you multiply the top by to make it cancel with 9x? And I hope you guys are thinking -3 would work. Okay, and if you don't see that, let me show you why. If you multiply in by -3, you get -9x minus 21y equals positive 69. And then I don't have to touch the bottom because look, the bottom is already 9x minus 6y equals -15. And I see opposites here, 9x and -9x. All right, so once you see opposites, you're ready to add like terms. -9x plus 9x cancels. -21y plus -6y is -27y. And 69 plus -15 is 54. And then if you divide both sides by -27, you get y equals -2. And then we'll just plug it back in to find x. All right, so I'm going to use, how about this time I use the original second? It doesn't matter, right? So if I rewrite the original second, I get 9x minus 6 times -2 equals -15. And then if I clean it up, -6 times -2 is positive 12. And then we're ready to draw our wall and solve. So -12 minus 12, we get 9x equals -27. Divide by 9, x equals -3. And that looks great. We got our x, we got our y. Let's write them as an ordered pair. Final answer is -3, -2. All right, if you guys want to stop, go ahead. This is a good stopping point. If anybody wants to see that extra elimination one that's a little bit harder, let's keep watching on number 10. All right, so number 10. What could we multiply by to get either the x's or the y's to cancel? And unfortunately, without picking a decimal, we can't really do it. So this is one of those ones where you have to multiply both equations by something. And what you let's say you guys are doing the x's. If this is 4 and this is 9, do you guys remember what you multiply by to get them to cancel? If this is 4 and this is 9, then the top gets a 9 and the bottom gets a 4. But there's no negative. So if there's no negative, one of them has to be negative. Otherwise, they won't cancel. Now, it doesn't matter which one. But if there's no negative originally, then one of them has to be negative. And now we're good to go. All right, so if you distribute in the top, it's -36x plus 27y equals -36. And if you distribute the 4 into the entire bottom, it's positive 36y minus 28y equals 44. And then I hope you guys see that the x's are exact opposites, so we're ready to add going down because they're going to cancel. So 36 and negative 36 cancel. 27 plus negative 28y is negative 1y. And negative 36 plus 44 is, I think that's 8. And then if you divide both sides by negative 1, looks like y is going to be negative 8. All right, if y is negative 8, we're going to plug it back into one of the originals. I'm going to use the top original. Again, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to plug in y equals negative 8. So if you rewrite it, 4x minus 3 times y is negative 8 equals 4. We're going to clean it up. This is going to be plus 24. And then we're going to draw the wall and solve. So minus 24, you get 4x equals negative 20. Divide by 4, x equals negative 5. And then if you write your answer as an ordered pair, final answer is negative 5 comma negative 8. All right, nice job, guys. I know that one was a little bit long. We'll practice more tomorrow. Thanks for watching.